you probably already know what this video is all about. Welcome everyone, my name is Gabriel and this is a video about Alan Wake. I'm a proud person because I finished Alan Wake, played on a PC. This material is more or less a sum-up video about the game and the experience it provides. It's not necessarily a review, but I will recommend or discourage you from buying or playing. So if you're interested in the title and my final thoughts, jump to the final minutes of this material, but I highly encourage you to listen to all of my points and statements. As a reminder, Alan Wake is a action horror game. You play as Alan Wake. Alan is a writer, famous book writer who sells hundreds of books, and in the very moment we encounter him, he's in the depths of uncreativity, which means he's not able to write. From the introduction movie and from trailers, for example, you find out that for 2 years he was not able to finish another project. So to deal with this with his wife, and he loves his wife very much, he goes with her on a trip to find inspiration. He ends up in a little small town, which I would call an American backwater somewhere. I'm not able to place this city called Bright Falls on the map of USA, which is an interesting choice of a setting. He wants to find an inspiration there to write his next bestseller book. The game has to be categorized, as I said before, as an action horror game with a lot of dark, depressing themes. Now let me tell you what I found positive and negative in the game. My positives are, first of all, the story, characters, writing, narrative, and above all, atmosphere. It's the script, if I can call it that way, that makes this game such a legend in one way or another. It's a story that can be told in a lot of mediums. It's not necessarily a game. It is a game, but this story could work very well, in my humble opinion, in a movie, in a book, in a comic book, or even in a radio audition or something like that. But in the game it works the best because this medium has the power to uplift the storytelling with interactivity. It's a level of storytelling I dare to call art, and in Alan Wake it works very well. With all its horror moments and more, especially its gameplay mechanics, they are innovative and they contribute to the whole experience. Unfortunately, with gameplay mechanics I have some minus points to point out, but that in a moment.
I'm crazy, but that's fine, Barry.
Oh, you got that right, Al. You're barking mad. You are by far the craziest.
But maybe that's inevitable when you deal with crazy stuff like this. It helps. This is happening, Barry. Alice, they never had Alice. She's trapped in the darkness at the bottom of the lake, but she's not dead.
Al, how can you know that?
I know, Barry. I can...
Al,
No, listen. I can bring her back. I can find her. There's something special about this place. The lake, it does something to the works of art created here. It makes them come true. But there's a catch. The dark presence, whatever that thing is, twists it to its own ends. That's why all of this is happening. It's using my manuscript to take over everything.
Al, I believe you.
It happened to Thomas Zane before, it happened to the Andersons.
I believe you. Crazy or not, you're not delusional. Weird shit's going down. That's a fact. I'm on board, man. I'm with you.
The Andersons knew about it, but they were too far gone.
And now for the negatives. There are actually two, but unfortunately these two are quite important. First one is the gameplay mechanics. They are quite clumsy, at least I found them clumsy. The game works fine, But there are a lot of things that bother me. For example, one of the main features of the game is light, and light is a weapon Alan uses to fight his enemy, which can be described as a dark presence, which makes sense, of course, but unfortunately doesn't work that well. The light can be quite confusing, can be so blinding that you don't see what is going on around, even if in the light you are more or less safe. In some gameplay moments, especially tough encounters with a lot of enemies, it can be quite confusing. Especially the flares. They can overshadow everything around them with such bright light that it doesn't give you clarity around what the hell is going on the screen. That's one thing. And second is the level design. As much as I liked the atmosphere, the level design is quite poor. It's linear, and even if there are hidden collectibles around, they aren't helping that much. And there is a path you have to follow, which basically contributes to the linearity of the game. But remember, this is an action horror, so the game is linear. It's not an RPG with branching story, which is, in my humble opinion, a downside of the game all in all. In the end, Alan Wake is a game that I would rate 7 out of 10 if you like this kind of scale. It's a title, if you take out the gameplay, all in all it's an average game when it comes to the gameplay, but it's the story and the level of details that was put into creating the world, the city of Bright Falls, that you need to see. Anyone who likes or thinks about writing, I highly recommend those people try this game, because the main character is a writer, and it can give you a little bit of a perspective of what such a creative work needs from the person doing the work. All in all, it's a rental for those of you who don't want to invest that money into it, but considering the game is quite cheap at the moment, so even if you find it on an occasion, on a sale or something like that, I highly recommend buying it, because it is yeah, the atmosphere is just phenomenal. If you have 1 or 2 or 3 evenings of free time and you consider playing games at that time, playing Alan Wake is a good choice, but it's an easy choice, because this game is a one-time ride. I don't think I will ever play it again, and that would make sense. Thank you for your time as always, and have a nice day or evening, because I'm recording at evening. Ciao.
I will try to help the best I can, but it's up to you. Find a better point of contact.
What do you mean?
I cannot hear you. Please, you're the one making all this happen. Concentrate. This is what's happening.
Nightmares. Too deep. Can't take the pressure. It's too much.
Suddenly, Wake found himself face to face with himself. At the sight of myself, the dream suddenly became lucid. The dark place,